Welcome to episode 523 of the Grit2Greatness Endurance podcast. We're your hosts, coaches Rich.soares, April.spilde, and Lauren.brown, and we are on a mission to help endurance athletes train smarter, race stronger, and build the grit it takes to achieve greatness. Today, we are diving into one of the most transformative aspects of the sport of triathlon, and that is swim mechanics. If you've ever wondered how to swim with less effort and more power, this episode is right down your lane. Coaches April, coaches Lauren, how are you guys doing tonight?
Doing great. I'm always happy when I get to see your faces and talk about swimming. I'm excited.
I'm ready to jump into the deep end with both of you.
There we go.
And I just love swimming. I love
swimming.
Coach April, tell us what we got going on today.
We've got a great show lined up. First, we're going to bring you our announcements and news, get you all caught up with what's going on in Grit2Greatness Endurance. We have our Ask a Coach section, which is featuring our main topic. What is the most important change an athlete can make to improve their swim efficiency? That will include a workout for you all to try. And then we'll bring it in with a little swim confessions pool edition.
Love that. We are going to end with laughter and aching sides and all those fun things. Can't wait. Folks, we would not be able to do this show. This show would not be nearly as powerful if we did not have the first announcement, which is our TriDot Pool School coming up February 28th through March 1st. This is going to be down in Colorado Springs, right there on the Air Force Academy. Listen, whether you're a beginner, struggling to get comfortable in, or just struggling to get comfortable in open water, or you're an experienced athlete. We've had NCAA swimmers, come and improve their swim times. This is a great place. I mean, Coach April, what is our average percent improvement on 100 times?
We are sitting around 15% across the board as far as the cumulative score that people have been able to achieve improvement. That is incredible, especially when you talk about NCAA athletes when they're looking just to get seconds. We've seen that in pool school.
Yeah,
I'll say
amazing.
When I did pool school as an athlete, because to be a coach, you have to go through the whole experience as an athlete. And in my lane, one of the athletes, he is a professional triathlete, and he took time off of his swim, off of his 100. So, yeah.
I took 10 seconds off my 100. I went from a 134 to a 124, and that was again at altitude. It's so cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's right. You did yours here. That's right.
Yes.
Yep. I remember that. Oh, so we are going to have so much fun, guys. It is not only a great opportunity to improve your swim. And by the way, you're going to be working hard. It is no joke, pretty intense, right? I mean, you've got a coach on both ends of the pool giving you feedback. You change your swim stroke pretty quickly. And actually, in fact, it's kind of funny. The first 2-3 hours, you don't even take one single stroke, right?
That's
You're
such a
working
good
on that
point.
streamline position, right?
Yeah.
We're going to talk more about that. So that's just a teaser. Put a pin in that one. Link here in the show notes. Really, encourage you to sign up now. We are, I think we are limited in the number of lanes. So please sign up early to make sure you've got a spot. It's going to make a big difference later on. We also have the Grit2Greatness webinar coming up on the 20th of January, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. Link here in the show notes. You do want to link on this and register. We are going to be featuring Velocity and hosting, being supported by Velocity. We are going to be talking about the platform. We are going to be showing you what the platform does. We are going to be talking about the programming that Coach April, Coach Lauren, and I are going to be providing. And you guys mind just teasing, maybe just say a thing or two each about what we've been doing to prepare, whatever. I'm sorry to catch you off guard, but
It's all good. April, you want me to go first?
Ahead,
okay.
You go ahead.
I mean, for me, the funnest thing we've done to prepare has been that we've taken each other through actual workouts. So Coach Rich led, Coach April led, I led, and we got to be on the receiving end of the workout, which was pretty cool. And also being able to sharpen our axe with using the platform and really guiding through the workout in ways that are going to not just make you a stronger cyclist because of the power output that you're generating or because of your endurance improving, but becoming a stronger cyclist because you're understanding how cadence affects your pace and affects your pace. Cadence affects your power, and being able to get the feel for it, right? As opposed to just always looking at a monitor and seeing, oh, I'm going 185 watts. Like, you learn to feel it without even actually getting that visual feedback. So I've loved it.
Yeah, agreed. Everything that Lauren said, I love about it. I think that's what differentiates it from other different platforms that you can use or apps. And one thing I really enjoy too with Velocity is that we get to be together. Like, it's wonderful in the summer when we can take time and ride together, but now we get the opportunity to be together in this aspect, learning from each other, getting closer to one another, and also helping each other in this shared space. That's super inviting, very welcoming, very approachable at any level. And I love that. I haven't seen that before, and I think that's what makes Velocity so special.
You guys both hit on such great points. One is the skill development. The other is the social aspect of it, right? The community part of it, which is awesome. The other thing I really love about it, and I actually, for my TriDot bike 3090s yesterday, I simply just imported it into Velocity, and I did the exact same workout, the same one that I've done, dozens and dozens of times. Only this time it was really different because it actually gave me my prescribed range, visually. And I found that I was like paying way more attention. And it was because I was trying to make sure that I got a good score on each and every interval, because it scores it, either red or blue if you're too, hard or too easy relatively. You want it right in the green. So it made it a little bit more interactive. So it's kind of, I guess my point is, it's an elevated experience.
It's a thermostat versus a thermometer. You're able to turn it up and dial it in versus taking a temperature.
There's definitely that. Absolutely. My point is, it's actually an elevated experience above and beyond just like the normal workout, right? It really like enriches and deepens the experience of the workout. It gives it more meaning. So, if whatever your platform is, whether you're, using TriDot or you're using, Training Peaks or something else, if you could take that same workout and make it mean a lot more with this experience. So we've talked about that quite a bit now, haven't we? That's awesome. You guys, who loved our team meeting this week? Like, so many people showed up. We missed some folks, of course. Not everybody was there, but we had a big turnout. Great, questions, great ideas. And we announced we are going to have holy golly, we are going to have another training camp this summer. It's going to be in June. We're very excited to put on a 3-day long camp wrapped up with a race. So it's going to be late June. We're talking June 24th arrival. We do our first day of camp. It's going to be swim focused, open water, June 25th. Then we've got June 26th. We're going to have a bike focused camp. And then on June 27th, a run focused camp. And we are even collaborating with Coach Bobby McGee again. So it looks like we have Coach Bobby McGee to join us and help us with that camp. And then on June 28th, we're going to be racing Boulder Sunrise is the plan. So that's the template. More to come. We just wanted to tease it. And, guys,
I can't wait. I'm like, I know I don't want to talk forever on this, but I can't wait for the whole experience and for the athletes to be able to benefit from everything. But man, I cannot wait to race with you guys. I just cannot wait to be letting everything that we cover over the weekend come together, because we'll be talking about bike handling and just open water swim. And I'm so excited. I love racing with friends is like the best experience. So
Can't wait. Can't wait to see all those Grit to Greatness endurance kits out there too.
yeah.
All right. Sea of green. All right. Well, listen, let's dive in here. We are talking about swimming, and the question that came up is, generically, what's the most important change an athlete can make to improve their swim efficiency? And you guys know the answer to this. It depends on the athlete, right? There isn't any one thing, right? But there is one thing, there is one form that there is a form you are trying to get to, or principles about your swim form that you are trying to get to. It is about those swim mechanics. And why things like that TriDot pool school, especially the one we're going to have here in Colorado Springs, with the three of us, could be such a game changer for endurance athletes. So this isn't about swimming harder, logging more yards. It's about understanding kind of how you move through the water and why that directly impacts speed, efficiency, and confidence on race day. So hang on. I'd say, put on your goggles, put on your swim cap, because here we go. We're going to dive in. And Coach Lauren, you want to lead us off with what we mean about good swim mechanics?
Absolutely. And it's so important to understand that being physically fit and having strong endurance doesn't mean you're going to be a good swimmer. Like, I think bike and run can carry over a little bit. With swimming, you could have the strongest cardiovascular system, but if your form is off, you're just not going to move through the water. So when we talk about good swim mechanics, we're talking about three big things. We're talking about, one, your body position. So staying long, having balance in the water, being horizontal, right? So a lot of times we'll see that maybe your feet are starting, your lower body rather is starting to drag, and you're just, creating more resistance through the water. So body position is extremely important. Next, you want to think about that propulsion through the water, right? So you're not, taking a stroke and then almost like slicing through the water. You want to be making sure that you're not just turning your arms over. You've got that catch and you're pulling and pressing the water back so you can move forward, right? And then the third is holding that form under fatigue. So it's one thing to be able to get through a couple of drills, but are you able to maintain that form over longer sets, over higher intensity sets, right? Because race day swimming, like when you're swimming on race day, it's not that you're going to be fresh from start to finish. You are going to fatigue. If you're doing, Olympic distance, 70.3, full distance, you're out there for a considerable amount of time, right? So the reality is that, most adult onset swimmers, it's not that you lack effort. It's not that, you're not getting the reps in the water, but a lot of times it comes down to the feedback, which again, with pool school is awesome because every 25 yards, you're getting instant feedback on what's going on. Without the feedback, it's very easy to ingrain inefficient habits, even when you're training consistently. And I have to say, like, for me, being a coach on deck, or even just for myself as an athlete going through pool school, it's like when you see a video of yourself swimming, all of a sudden you're like, there's no way that's what I look like, right? It's not like if you're, on a bike or running, or if you're lifting in the gym, you can see like, oh wait, what am I doing with my form? In a swim, you're getting feedback. Maybe if you're not following the black line, right? Maybe you're hitting into the rope, but that constant feedback is really important. So
that's such a good point, Lauren. It's also, I think that's what the distinguisher is here for TriDot Pool School, is that it's not a one size fits all clinic. It's diagnostic. You're getting that feedback in real time so that you can make change and you can connect the body with the mind. Appropriate perception is huge when you don't know what you look like and someone can tell you, hey, April, you need to come out wide with your hand placement versus what you thought you were doing. So The great thing also with TriDot Pool School is you actually don't just start in the water. You start with prep work before the actual clinic. That includes land drills, mobility, everything that you need to build, to bring that awareness and muscle memory to the clinic. That goes such a long way when you get into the water. Then you have those 2 immersive days of coaching on land and in the pool with athletes who are swimming at similar speeds. So we're not just throwing you into the deep end here in our metaphorical way. We are literally giving you the tools you need to succeed with athletes that are at the same ability. So you're in a group that is very welcoming, very approachable, and you're with coaches who are going to give you good feedback to make those changes or to make sure that you're doing the form correctly. So there's really everything to gain and nothing to lose with this clinic. Great thing about Colorado Springs is that it's an amazing pool. Very clean. I'll share this with you all too. Right now, it's getting completely cleaned because every year they get ready for the cadets being reintroduced after the winter break. So they take 2 full weeks to do a deep immersive. They drain the pool, clean the pool, make sure it's pristine. So you all get to come in at that time. You're coming in at the most pristine time to try the pool out. So we can't wait to host you here in Colorado Springs, where we get that to create that environment where athletes are showing up ready to learn, energized. It's focused, intentional, and you leave with clarity, not confusion. Rich, I want to ask you from a coaching perspective, what do you see athletes gain the most from pool school?
Well, athletes come to pool school with the experiences that they've had, and their experiences that they've had include all of the noise that's out there, right? There's all sorts of, and I don't mean to disrespect any of the information. It's just that we don't all use the same language, and there are some very functional things about freestyle, the freestyle stroke that you just go by different terms. People use different terms to say, but it gets confusing. What I see athletes get from this is we actually talk about the swim stroke in terms of its function. And because we connect what they're doing to the function of it, it helps make sense of why your shoulders and hips might be at a 45-degree angle, for example. Right? It starts to make sense. It also things like we've got a specific hand position when you have finished the stroke. Where does that hand sit against your body? Where what's the position of the hand? How is it rotated? All of those things actually matter. So to answer that question, April, it is they end up no longer guessing about like why they are doing something. They walk away with, well, yes, a clear understanding of why they're doing something, and they can actually experience the impact of it quickly because we get to that smoother stroke so fast, right? It's sort of like I always joke about like it being like golf, right? There's the time when you hit the ball, it just feels sweet, right? You're like, oh, I finally know how to golf, right? And then you have those days where like you shank it, you're like, oh God, I have those same days swimming, but you will have more days where you're like, oh my gosh, this feels so much better. Or all of a sudden you'll have the aha, wait a minute, I'm bilateral breathing. I've never bilateral breathed. Oh, it's because you drilled both sides a gazillion times over 8 hours. And now it just comes second nature.
I love that you brought up golf, because I always say that swimming makes me think of golf, because it's like if somebody throws too many things at you at once to think about, all of a sudden it's like, what the hell am I doing? You're like, I'm lifting, I'm dipping, I'm not like turning my hips. So there's so many things that you can have to focus on. And real quick, I just have to share this because there was a reel that I thought was so fitting for swimming. And this guy was showing his like perfect form under the water. He's streamlined. He looks beautiful. And then like the text on the screen is like, my swimming when I first start, and then as I start to think about everything I'm supposed to be correcting all at once, and it's like all of a sudden he's like bending his knees and kicking, and he's like over rotating. And I think I may have shared it to my story because I was like, dang, if this isn't the truth, like, and it's like the same thing with golf. If you try to, everything falls apart. So anyway, I don't know if I cut you off, Rich, if you finished with.
No, I'm done. We're good.
Okay. Well, so then I'll segue into common issues that we see with at pool school, or just when we're dealing with anyone, right, who's trying to work on their swim form. And I like to say, like, everyone's unique. We're all our own person, but a lot of us, you guys, we're not unique with the things that we struggle with in the water. We all deal with some variation of these. We often see that it's like a dropped elbow. So, sometimes you'll be told to do maybe a fingertip drag drill. So that way you're keeping your elbow up. Another one, which is huge, crossing over the midline, which again, Rich, when you were talking about like where you realize how it impacts certain things on your swim, I was demonstrating this to one of my athletes at the pool that we swim at, and she crosses over, and I was like, and noticing that because she was crossing over, she also was like breathing so high up out of the water, and realizing like you also want to go wide to create that space so you can actually breathe without having to over rotate. And you get to have, again, like these little ahas where you're like, if you go wide, this will happen. But crossing over the midline, I think it is one of the most common things that we see. Inefficient kicking. So you're either over kicking, you're not kicking at all, or you're like literally kicking from your knees as opposed to kicking from your hips. Super common. And then again, I said this before, where you start to lose body position as fatigue sets in. So really being able to maintain form. So at pool school, we spend a lot of time on recovery mechanics, right? Keep the elbow high, breathing without disrupting body alignment. So just the head. And then, the key takeaway really is that these are mechanical issues, not fitness issues. So they're absolutely trainable. You don't have to all of a sudden go from like here, like, baseline all through to the moon with an increase in your vascular fitness. It's these little mechanical adjustments that's what's taking the 15% improvement that we're seeing at pool school. It's mechanical, not cardiovascular, cardiorespiratory.
Yeah, beautifully said. So let's actually talk about how we can build better mechanics. One of the things that we as coaches and athletes usually see and want to prescribe are drills. Drills really help reinforce those good mechanics that when we put it all together, we have a beautiful stroke. So aerobic swimming is where form is built. It's where you have the mental space to focus on body position, recovery, and efficiency without fatigue forcing those bad habits. If every swim is hard, there is literally no room to learn. So we want to start with a warm-up that is mechanic focused. The warm-up is designed to help reinforce the same skills we are learning, right? So the same skills that are going to apply to our freestyle. First thing we want to focus on is kicking. And we do encourage kicking with fins. It can help with getting the long body line that we're looking for and a relaxed kick from the hips. If you are not using fins, it can cause a lot of over kicking, under kicking, because you're trying to keep your legs up. That's not to say that all your kick set should be with fins, but when we're talking about warm-ups and getting the streamlined position and waking the body up to reinforce good form, it's good to start with fins. And then we have 4x25 single arm lead. The focus here is fingers flat, arms stretched, shoulders and hips at a 45, spine aligned. And what we'll do too is we're going to link in our show notes different videos that are going to reinforce the form here with these different drills. And then we have 4x25 archer drill, which is focusing on a high elbow recovery relaxed shoulder, 4x25 616, which is rhythm and timing without rushing. So learning how to get that body balance with a different stroke on each side, and then finishing it up with a 4x25 fist drill. And that is to help with forearm engagement, not just the catch with the hand. And then our main set is aerobic with purpose. Once mechanics are established, we carry them into our aerobic swimming. And I have to say, for me personally, the warm-up is my favorite part of the entire swim set because I get to focus. It's almost meditative for me when I think about one thing at a time, especially when it comes to the relaxed breathing and just feeling the water, getting my body awake and aware. We want to make sure that we drill with purpose. And then going into that main set, once our mechanics are established, we carry them into our swimming. Looking at the main set, the goal here is a 4x200 at zone 2, holding that good form, putting it all together while maintaining a relaxed breath and an efficient rotation. This is where you're training your body to stay efficient for longer periods, which is exactly what you need on race day.
Awesome. And let's talk about like how this like gets transitioned into kind of faster speed and how you will take this intentional work that you're doing in zone 2 and now start to bring it into, take that same form and basically carry it with you into higher intensities. So how do you do that without sacrificing your form? Well, the first thing is to start where you're at and doing like 4 to 6 by 50. So do a 50 build, think, into zone 4. So you start with that nice, easy zone 2 effort where you've got the best form that you've got, right? You're really, you're starting there. And as you go through that 50, all you're doing is starting to just speed up the effort, speed up, keep the exact same mechanics. Don't change a thing. You're just picking up the tempo and you're picking up the effort that you're putting in on that stroke. But otherwise, you're trying to stay as relaxed as you were in zone 2 and you're just picking up that tempo. When you notice your form start to break down, and rest assured, everybody that goes through pool school has 2 or 3 things that they're still, I call it ironing the wrinkle out of the sheet, right? You'll notice those things come back, and it's something for everybody. Like it might be that maybe your kick breaks down, as you build up your speed. Well, back off, wait till that wrinkle comes out of the sheet. And maybe that's the point where now you've got to work at that speed and just kind of keep going back over that, uh, work that wrinkle out of that sheet at that speed, then pick it up again, and find the next limiter, find the next time where your form starts to break down or pace that your form starts to break down. That's how you'll start to build in your speed. So takeaways, aerobic swims aren't junk, right? This is where you really could do that intentional work and that intentional drills, awareness and controlled speed. That's where the real gains are going to happen. It could be the most important part of your workout, the drills. So that's why pool school exists for TriDot. Whether you're a TriDot athlete or not, you're welcome to register and these drills and what's really cool about the TriDot application is after you go to pool school, the drills in your swim workouts turn to these pool school drills, the actual ones, not the ones we're talking about here. So anyway, if your form starts to fall apart, slow down. Speed comes after control. One of the big advantages of being at these pool schools and the app is that it's going to constantly be reinforcing these mechanics so that you build in the muscle memory over time.
I loved that once I was able to open up my app and have all of those drills in there, because I'm the type of person who, if it's there, I'm definitely doing it, right? If it's written down, I do it. And it's not just like, oh, just do some drills when you get to the pool. It's like, you're doing these specific drills 2 to 3 to 4 times a week. And the drills are drilled into you, basically. So wrapping that up, good swim mechanics it's not about swimming pretty, right? It's about swimming efficiently, confidently, and repeatably without wasting energy. So when you swim with better form on race day, right, you're going to exit the water feeling more composed, controlled. You're going to be better prepared for the bike and run because, again, you didn't expend wasted energy with poor mechanics on the swim. And, that's why the three of us believe so strongly in TriDot Pool School and why y'all should be signing up for Colorado Springs. It's in a powerful environment. Whenever I hear Coach April talk about the area, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to be there, right? And then you leave again knowing what to work on, like Coach Rich said, why it matters, and how to apply it every time you get into the pool.
Okay, we did all the work. Now are we ready to have some fun?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely. We've got a shout out to our sponsor, right?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Rich.
No, I'm sorry. You were still trying to wrap up. I can edit this out. You were still trying to wrap up the.
Yeah, I was going to do now we're going to have fun, but first let's bring in our show sponsor.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
But it wasn't clear. It wasn't clear. But we can start over from here if everyone's good.
Yeah, I did have one comment I wanted to make on Lauren's update.
Please.
So, yeah. Oh, yeah. Lauren, one of the things that I love that you said was, you said this right at the start, we're going to drill the skills into you, right? Or something to that effect. And, it's so funny, we say that sort of tongue in cheek, but it is really, when you're out there racing, I can't tell you the times that, something comes to me, just like it becomes like a meditative thing, just find fast, find fast, find, or, that's the acronym. More on the acronym if you come to pool school, but, just, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I know what that is because I know what the acronym stands for. And that becomes all of a sudden my focus instead of where's everybody at? Where's the next buoy? Why am I, why can't I see the buoy? Because, it gives me something more constructive to focus on. And frankly, when you're like going for a buoy, if you could just sit there and think about just that mechanics, just finding fast on both sides of that buoy as you're like aiming right at it, it'd be surprising, how smooth you start to feel in a race. So anyway, just wanted to wrap that up. Just one final comment. What do we got next, Coach April? What's going on?
Well, we did all that work. Now let's have some fun. First off, we're going to bring in our show sponsor, which is Vespa Power. Vespa Power Endurance helps you tap into steady, clean energy so you stay strong, focused, and in the zone longer. Vespa is not fuel, but a metabolic catalyst that shifts your body to use more fat and less glycogen as your fuel source. Vespa comes in CV25, Junior, and Concentrate. Less sugar, higher performance, faster recovery. And we also have a discount code here for a first-time purchase, 303 Endurance 20 when you check out. That's a great code discount for you to give Vespa a try. So let us roll into our fun segment. This is also pool themed, and I have deviously called this Swim Confessions Pool Edition. There is no judgment, no technique talk. Okay, maybe a little. But we're all admitting the swim habits we pretend that we don't have. So there's going to be 2 rounds here. First, there's going to be a rapid fire. There's no explanation. You either have to say yes or no. And then the second, we're going to finish the sentence. You both ready?
Ready.
All right. Have you ever skipped a swim because it, quote, felt cold in an indoor pool?
No, I don't think so. I mean, like once I get there, if I'm in the water,
you're going.
I'm committed. Yeah.
Half the battle is just getting there, honestly. I would agree. I have not said no.
Yeah. I got to the pool once and I was getting ready for Haines City. So this was last December. And I got there and I was like, it's like chilly in here. And the owner, he's like, heat ain't working today. And this was in December, like the end of November. I was like, oh, you gotta be shitting me. I was like, I can't do this. In my mind, I'm like, I have a race coming up in 3 weeks. I'm not scared, or like whatever it was. So, and it was pretty chilly in there that day, but I did not skip it. I was like the only one in the pool.
That's grit building right there. Okay, next one. Have you checked the clock mid-set and immediately lost motivation?
Yep. Oh,
yes.
Golly. Or like if you, you like, or maybe like you're doing a CSS test, right? So you're like,
oh yes,
you're going for time and you're on a 400 and you look at the split on 200. You're like,
no,
behind. That's the worst.
Oh.
Yeah, I agree 100%. If all of a sudden you're like, I wasn't really feeling great, that just confirmed it. And now I'm like, gas off.
Have you worn fins just to feel fast again?
Yeah. You want me to admit? You want me to make my confessions about pull buoys?
Yes. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, you get to that. You like at the end of the workout, there's a 300 zone 4, and you're like,
oh.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
A little crutch, maybe.
Or put those fins back on.
Take it, or maybe take it as far as you can, and then you're like, okay, I'm tapping out and grabbing the buoy for the rest.
Like, I'm just gonna get at least 100 in really fast with my fins to wrap this up.
Yes.
Get my pace to come down a little bit.
Yes. Oh, I love that. Have you accidentally drafted someone in the next lane?
No.
How about raced? Have you raced someone in the next lane and never mentioned it?
Yes. Definitely.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, for sure.
You're always racing.
Well,
I was like, they didn't know, but that was a race.
Yeah,
and I didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I try to stick to what I'm doing. Like if I'm like doing a zone 2 and somebody's like clearly like, crushing it, like, no, but like if I'm like zone 4, like, all right, somebody's just like barely passing you. You're like, oh yeah, come on, let's go.
Well, because sometimes I get in my head where I'm like thinking, I'm like, oh, are you trying to race me? And like, they might not be, but you're thinking they are.
Yeah, exactly. They flip turn just a hair faster than you and then push off the wall. Yeah. Oh.
Can I throw a question out to you guys? Have you ever raced somebody or been or maybe even accidentally just swimming next to them and have somebody flip out on you for doing it?
No.
Oof.
I did one time. This guy just happened to be swimming the same pace as me for a couple of hundred, came to the wall, and the guy just flipped out.
Oh my God.
Like, can you stop swimming my same pace? I'm like,
wow.
Like, I was like, really? Wow. Yeah. Didn't mean anything by it, but go.
Wow.
A lot of ego there. Jeez.
Yeah, that's
etiquette. We got to talk etiquette one of these days too.
Yeah.
The 4 agreements, that's like your reminder of like, that has totally something to do with him and nothing to do with you. Oof.
Yeah, of course.
Oof.
That's crazy, Rich.
All right, last one. Have you added a pool boy when the set got hard and told yourself it was intentional?
I got to tell you, I did not read ahead. I wasn't even looking at the question.
You just had a willing confession. I love it. I didn't even have to pry it out of you. Lauren, have you used a pool buoy in that regard?
I'm sure I have at some point, but I feel slower with a pull buoy on. So I use it more when I'm like, I just feel like being lazy right now and just like letting my legs stay afloat. Yeah, yeah, but not if I'm going if I'm trying to go faster. If I'm trying to go faster, that's when I'm like, where are those fins at?
Yeah, I would definitely say fins are the ones that I would go to for this, but Pool boy can feel really good when your legs are tired. So it can be can be one of those things that you reach for when you're struggling. Okay. Round 2, you're going to finish this sentence. The hardest part of swimming for me is
getting in the pool.
I would say the hardest part of swimming for me is my mobility, just my flexibility, getting into a nice, good shoulder position.
I agree with Lauren. I think my hardest part is just getting there, because whether it's to the academy or it's to Peterson, it's almost an hour of drive time added. So it's just hard just adding that extra layer of time in there. The moment I knew I was becoming a swimmer was when
I signed up for my first triathlon.
Oh, I love that.
I would have to agree with that, because I don't think before that I would have called myself a swimmer. Like, even like I took, like swimming 101 in college. I'm like, I mean, I could do it barely, but man, you've got to learn. If you're going to be like swimming open water, you got to learn how to, learn to be a swimmer.
Yeah. Well, I got to say, when I first decided, I was like, okay, I'm going to do a triathlon, because like I said, the triathlon was on the other side of my fear, right? I was doing the duathlons, but it's funny, like I'm a pretty like okay swimmer now, but I'll tell you, when I first got in the pool, I was nervous as all like anything doing 25 yards. Like at first I was like, wait, do I even remember how to get completely across this pool? So it is like just a little friendly reminder that, I signed up and decided to do a triathlon. I was scared to get from one side to the other of a 25-yard pool. And now I'm like, it's become one like a strong thing for me. So,
okay. Last question. If you could give one piece of advice to your younger swim self, what would it be?
Oh man, it would be
start when you're 8.
That's actually perfect. Yeah. Start when you're 8, and maybe like get some coaching early on if you can't start when you're 8.
When's the best time to plant a shade tree? 20 years ago. When's the next best time? Right now. Come to pool school.
Yep.
I would say don't worry about what you look like in a swimsuit. You're just fine. That would be my piece of advice. Yes.
There you go.
All right. We want to hear from you. Send us your swim confession. We might even read it on a future episode. Remember, the pool is where the ego, to your point, Rich, goes to get baptized. And if the pool had a confessional, we would all be in trouble.
Oh, man, I love that. What a fun way to wrap that one up. What a fun way to wrap up the fun segment, actually. I guess. Guys, blast as always. Folks, thanks for spending some time with us today on the Grit to Greatness Endurance podcast. If you've enjoyed the show, come visit us on Instagram. We've got a new handle. It is at G2G Endurance. And leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcast. And also, we are on YouTube. So come check out the video. Like we are, touch us, we're real. We've got expressions and goofiness and all that you can actually see. And so anyway, we would love for you to leave us an athlete. We really appreciate you. Stay gritty, train smart, keep chasing greatness, and we will see you next week.